Hello everyone, welcome back to Potty Plant Entertainment and Merry Christmas. My name is Chris and in case you don't know, I review movies and I rank them on a scale of 0 to 100 in increments of 5. For our second Christmas special, we are going to be talking about Scrooged. So Scrooged was released in 1988 and it stars Bill Murray, Karen Allen, John Glover, Bob Goldthwait, David Johnson, and Carol Kane. It was directed by Richard Donner and it was produced by Stephen J. Roth. And this movie takes a modern twist on Charles Dickens' classic story, A Christmas Carol. So Bill Murray plays an executive at a television station, and he's really selfish. He doesn't care anything about Christmas, and he is visited by his former mentor, who tells him, "Don't end up like me." So these three ghosts, you know, past, present, and future, are gonna come visit you, and they're gonna teach you to change your ways and stuff. So you know how it goes. I mean, it's just it just takes a modern twist on it. I love this movie. I will tell you right now, I love this movie. I remember I probably first saw this movie when I was like maybe like 10, something like that, and I fell in love with this movie from the first time I watched it. We had it on DVD, and I would come to my mom every Christmas, like, "Mom, I want to watch Scrooged," because I love this movie. I got this on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital code today, which, by the way, you can win this digital code. I am going to be doing a giveaway for this code. All you have to do, if you want this digital HD code, is just subscribe to my channel, comment down below the word "done," and put your Instagram tag. And this Friday, I will be announcing the winner, and I will be DMing the winner the code. So if you want the digital code, just subscribe to the channel, comment "done," put your Instagram tag, and I will DM you a free digital copy of Scrooge to enjoy this holiday, my gift to you. So, like I said, I love this movie, and I'm going to go into my pros with this movie. So, the opening scene of this movie is great. The opening scene of this movie, when I first watched this movie, I was like, what the crap is going on? Because it's like Santa and Mrs. Claus and elves and the guy from $6 Million Man. They all get machine guns when they're being shot at the North Pole. It's like, what the crap is this? And then when it's over, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. But it's still a pretty funny opening scene. Bill Murray is hilarious in this movie. This movie really helps showcase what we all love about Bill Murray. His insane improv skills. He is one of the best to ever do it. He's insanely funny in this movie. He was perfectly casted for this movie. I feel like this movie was really written for him. He's so good in the film. I'm going to put this down now because my arm's getting tired. This movie's hilarious, and it's all because of Bill Murray carrying this so well. But he's not the only funny one in it. The ghosts in this movie are really funny too. The ghosts are great. They're so great. There's such a good twist on them. They're so funny and unique. I don't want to go into detail about them in case you haven't seen the movie, because when you first see them, it's really something you got to experience for yourself. But I will tell you, the ghosts are very, very funny, and they're very lovable. I really like the ghosts. Some say the Ghost of Christmas Present is kind of annoying. I don't agree with that. I actually thought she was really funny. This movie is a romance. Throughout the movie, he tries to sort of reconcile a romance that he had 15 years ago, played by Karen Allen, who, by the way, does a great job in this movie. And I will say that she has the prettiest smile of any girl I have ever seen. She was very good in this, and she worked well with Bill Murray. Their romance was very good. And the movie really relies heavily on their romance because it's so easy it could have fell apart if the romance didn't work. But the romance works very well. It's a very cute romance. And it was definitely necessary for the film. It doesn't feel forced at all. It was a big part of the film, and I really enjoyed it. I don't really care that much about romance aspects in movies, but this one I really got into, and I really liked it. This movie gets you very invested in the characters. Even though Bill Murray's character is a jerk, you really, really get to care about this guy, and you get to know him very well. The costumes in this movie are great. Great costuming. They had a really good costuming department for this. The makeup is very good. It's very creative. And one of the things I like about it is that it doesn't pretend like A Christmas Carol doesn't exist. throughout the movie, they're working on this live thing they're gonna do on TV, where they're gonna do a live performance on their TV channel of A Christmas Carol. Okay, and so this movie doesn't just pretend like that, that the story doesn't exist. No, it acknowledges that, and it makes the original story a big part of this new story. There's a scene in this movie, so he fires this guy, like, early on in the movie, and his life starts falling apart, and he comes back to try and kill Bill Murray in the office, and Bill Murray is ducking and weaving throughout the office while he's shooting at him, and the guy's singing Christmas songs while he's shooting at with this 2-barrel shotgun. It's a pretty funny, but also kind of, like, intense scene. The special effects in this movie, even though not every special effects shot holds up, for the time they were very impressive, and they actually, for the most part, do still hold up, and they really do this movie's justice. There's practical effects in this movie, there's some digital effects in it as well, some early digital effects, and there's even some puppetry in it that is very good, and it all, for the most part, it really holds up. There's a song sequence at the end of this movie. So a big part of this movie is the song Put a Little Bit of Love in Your Heart. And at the end of this movie, everybody who's watching the TV and is there, and during this live thing, they all start singing it. And Bill Murray comes to the screen, and he starts getting the theater, the people, the audience, to sing this song. And he's like, this half of the theater sing, now this half of the theater. And I used to always wonder when I was a kid if anybody ever actually sang the song, or if everybody who was alive at the time who went to see us in theaters just sat there awkwardly, like, are you gonna sing? I'll sing if you sing. You know what I mean? I always wondered. Now, there is... so, there's a few criticisms with this movie that I'd like to address. The first thing is that this movie will show you how Bill Murray and Carrie Allen's romance falls apart, right? Because, like I said, they're separate, they're away from each other for 15 years. And people say that it feels kind of rushed. And they're right. It does feel kind of rushed, and it's just sort of trying to move along the plot. I recognize that flaw. It just doesn't really bother me because they still found a way to sort of make it work, even though it does feel kind of rushed. And one of the biggest complaints with this movie is the end of this movie. When Bill Murray, because, when he comes, what's it, Ebenezer Scrooge, when he comes back from the Ghost of Christmas Present, he's so happy, he's jumping around. Well, you get the same thing out of Bill Murray, obviously, because, it's the same story. It's just has a modern twist on it. And people say that when he's giving this grand speech, it seems like he's losing his mind, and it doesn't really feel heartwarming or anything, like it's really getting a message across. But I actually highly disagree with this. Because yes, even though it does seem like he's losing his mind, you have to listen to the words that are coming out of his mouth. And when you listen, the words he's saying, even though he's acting crazy, what he's saying is not crazy. And so I feel like that criticism, I don't really think that's fair. And on top of that, it's funny and it's entertaining. And Bill Murray just was like, hey, everyone, let's be nice to each other. Instead of being Bill Murray, hey, everyone, be nice to each other. Like, which would you rather see? Which is more entertaining? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would rather go with the second one, you know? I mean, the first one just isn't Bill Murray. It's not funny. It's not entertaining. I don't think that's a fair criticism. I understand the criticism, but I very much disagree with it. So Scrooged isn't exactly a perfect movie, but to me, it feels perfect. And no movie is really perfect, Look at Back to the Future. It has a couple plot holes in it, but it's such a good movie you don't really care. And it feels perfect. Or look at Jaws. Jaws has more goofs in it than any other movie I've ever seen. Like, when Roy Scheider is sitting on the beach and he's watching the people swim, his watch just disappears off his wrist. Or when the shark, at the end of the movie, throws itself up on the boat, the sword that, machete that Quentin stabbed into the side of the boat, it's gone. And then when the shark is eating him, it's there again, and he grabs it and he uses it against the shark. There's so much stuff like that in Jaws. I can't even begin to count the mistakes that are in Jaws. Jaws is not a perfect movie, but it just feels perfect. And yes, I do recognize a few of the little issues that this movie has, but first of all, this movie doesn't have very many issues. And second of all, the issues that this movie has are very minor. So they don't bother me, and I don't even agree with all of them. So, with all that being said, I am going to give Scrooged a 100. Now, I was looking through the IMDb reviews for this movie after I watched it, and most people seem to feel like this movie deserves an 8 out of 10, or on my scale, an 80 out of 100. And if you watch this movie, that's probably more how you're going to feel about it. But I love this movie. I'm going to give it a 100, my highest rating. I think the world of this movie. It is one of my favorite Christmas movies, and I promise you, if you watch it, you will at least get some enjoyment out of it. And if anything, watch it for Bill Murray. I mean, Bill Murray is one of the greatest comedians that ever lived. I think this is one of his best. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to Pod Player Entertainment for more, and hit the like button. Leave movie review suggestions down in the comments down below. Follow me on Instagram at Pod Player Entertainment for channel updates. And again, Merry Christmas.